It's just after 12 noon on the 21st of August 2021. Welcome to the latest episode, and this will be episode 32, I'm assured by my producers. No, I don't have a producer. I have to produce everything myself. In fact, I also have to do everything myself. For example, I have to dress in the morning, and you might not believe it, but putting on a pair of socks can be a chore with Parkinson's for various reasons. Maybe my feet are too big or the sock is too tight, but for some reason it's a pain to put socks on. You might not think that's the case, but well, even if I manage to do it, it takes twice as long as it should take. So things with Parkinson's, people living with Parkinson's, are often slow for reasons beyond their control. They're slow because they can't do things in the same way that they used to do. They're frustrated because things that used to work easily don't work so well. And, well, they're just a little slow sometimes. So what else do I have to do in the morning? Well, I have to remember to take my pills. Of course, that alone is one of the things I've talked about in the past. I use an app that reminds me what to do to take the pill, when to take it, how many to take. And as long as I remember to record what I've done in the app, then I won't have to take them again when I shouldn't. Plus, it's got a nice handy alarm. It rattles the bottle of pills at me. So here's the bottle of pills. Don't know if you can hear that. But this bottle of pills, well, I have to open it. Sometimes that's problematic. The pills spill. One doesn't like spilled pills. Then one takes the pills one needs, puts the cap back on. By the way, this is normal. This is not simulated. This is what it's like. Hopefully I'm still talking coherently. We'll see when I play back. So these are the pills. I have to shake them out into my hand. Sometimes I have to reach to the floor to pick up the ones which are shaken out of the hand. So all in all, a little bit of a production. That's pills. Now sometimes one needs to have a glass of water to take the pills. So here's a glass of water. Oh shit. Sorry, forgive the poor language there. Normally I have to hold it with two hands because otherwise it shakes so much that the water spills, and that isn't good for anyone. Now, I'm using a computer here as the rest for the phone which is recording this, and of course on a computer you use a mouse. But my mouse is not the same as a normal mouse because a normal mouse is hard to hold and hard to use. So I've got this whopping big penguin production, or is it a dolphin? Yeah, penguin, which allows me to hold on to the mouse, sometimes with two hands if necessary to steady it, and then I can position and use the oversized buttons. So it's about making reasonable accommodation for one's condition, and hopefully if you're still employed, then your employer under the UK law can make reasonable accommodations for your disability, and one of those is making available the mouse like this. And I'm very fortunate that I have an employer who helps me in that regard. Now I've shown you, of course, the crown, which is used for light therapy. Now even this is something, of course I can position it using a mirror. I can make sure I know it's in the right place. But then there's the plug. In order to plug it in, my hands are shaking and it takes a few goes, and eventually I get there. So we were talking about dressing. One of the things when you're dressing is sometimes you like to dress nice. So you dress in a tuxedo. Buttons are then a problem. Even normal shirt buttons like this one. I'm lucky that came pre-buttoned. I didn't need to button it up. But if buttons, they're not absolute ways to stop you, but they can be a pain, and they just take a few goes to get it right. And of course, that's why I use cufflinks, which are great when I want to dress up, although the shirt doesn't always have cufflinks. And sometimes I've lost the pair. Then, of course, there's the beautiful tie, the bow tie, which goes around. And of course, the bow tie is something that you have to tie, which means that's already problematic. And it's compounded even further by the fact that this is the box for the bow tie, and I've forgotten where the rest of the tie and the buttons went. So that's part of the fun as well. Now I'm recording this with a mobile phone, and I happen to have another mobile phone here which ran out of battery, but I've switched it on and I've managed to plug it into the charger. Of course, plugging that in, that's a challenge all in itself. And what I wanted to share with you is the problem with starting these mobile phones. They're very secure these days. And so the security is through a fingerprint sensor on the back there, just there. And of course, using this fingerprint sensor with my hand shaking, the sensor can't get a good read. So that's a challenge all in of itself. Of course, I have the latest computer provided by my employer that also has a fingerprint sensor. And guess what? It cheekily tells me, I'm sorry, you should use another finger. I've only got the one, and you're lucky I'm not going to turn this around, because that's what the computer would get when Windows criticized me, because I can't hold my finger still to the point where it can get a firm reading of the fingerprint. So that's one of the other fun little challenges from Parkinson's. So as I mentioned, I have the phone, and sometimes I like to take videos. Now when I do that, obviously I can't be sitting down as I have with this particular second phone, which is resting on the computer. So I need to stabilize this somehow. Unfortunately, I have a device which stabilizes for me. This is a device which is it's not too expensive, and it's something with a few goes I can probably manage to get in. There. And then if I've remembered to charge it, I have this time, then it switches on and it stabilizes. And now I have a stable platform from which I can record despite the movements in my hand, despite the tremor. This will keep a stable view. And it can even do landscape. Yeah. Okay, books. Well, a very dear friend gave me a very nice book on diet. I'm not going to plug the book, but definitely worth reading when I've read it. Of course, that's another problem too. I can't hold a book anymore. I'm a bookworm. I've read thousands of books in my life, and now it's deeply, deeply frustrating that I cannot pick them up and hold them. Fortunately, I have a computer, a mobile phone, and I can tap into an audio book website where I download my audio books and I listen to them on the earphones. And that's what I do when I'm walking in the park. I listen to audio books and I enjoy them just as much, if not more. And certainly I can't walk and hold a book and read at the same time. So that makes it a more efficient use of time. Nice to see I've shaved. That doesn't always happen, and there's a reason for that. I don't like the use of too much plastic, so I abhor the use of plastic razors. So I have one of these very nice traditional safety razors. But of course this is problematic because let's try. Yep, holding it this way so that I don't engage the blades. I can undo that. I still have some motor control left on that part, at least. Thank you. And let's try to do this without actually cutting myself. Right, so there is the blade. And there's the part that holds it. This one's not so dangerous. And the stick itself, which is made of bamboo and therefore doesn't use any plastic recycling. They provide a superior shave. Except that that assumes you're not able to keep your hands still. So that's why I shave with two hands as an adaptation. And hopefully I won't reach the point where I won't be able to shave at all, but we will see. What else is there to tell? Yes, the obvious thing, of course, pens, my handwriting. Yeah, that's why I use the mobile phone to record notes, audio notes, because I can't use a pen because it's illegible. I wouldn't be able to read it myself. And when I'm using the mobile phone to record things, I speak with the voice detection or speech detection system, which interprets my speech into words and types them in onto the computer. So I've got three different systems that I use. There's one on the mobile phone, which is pretty good. There's one on my Mac, which is great. That also is able to convert speech to text. And then there's one on Windows, which, yeah, better not say much about that one. Let's just say that sometimes I have to correct mistakes. For example, one of the words which I have been using an awful lot in my professional life is ransomware. Ransomware is that dastardly thing that happens to big companies when they find out that all their important documents have been encrypted and otherwise denied access to them. So it's a problem for many computer companies, many businesses who are using computer systems or heavily dependent on them, and I help people deal with that in my professional life. However, well, and I've lost where I'm going. No, I'll get it back. Ransomware means that saying the word itself is interpreted wrongly by the computer. Instead of ransomware, I get ran somewhere. So that's one of the fun parts of working with a computer. So I still manage to work with a computer. I've shown you the mouse already, which does the job. Getting into the computer is sometimes a problem because it can't scan my fingerprint. If I'm lucky, I can switch to using a PIN. That's a security measure. And of course, mobile banking, especially on the mobile phone, because one of the problems with the mobile phone, when I can find it, is the touch screen. And moving around on the touch screen can be problematic. So you've got to be a little bit careful. I've been experimenting with voice-driven commands available in Android phones. And they're kind of there. They're getting better. Certainly that's something which I may have to use in the future. Fortunately, I'm not there yet. I've managed to focus and slow down and concentrate, and usually I can get the message across. And hopefully I've got the message across to you today that you've enjoyed. Please like and comment. Oh, I think that's the first time I've said that. Please comment and like, which is better. Whatever works for you. Please like the video, add a comment about your own experiences or experiences of someone you love in dealing with Parkinson's disease and what accommodations they've had to make in their life. Because I know, looking at the case histories of many other people with Parkinson's, they have things a lot more difficult than I do. Mine is tremor dominant. I am very fortunate not to be plagued with too many of the other maladies associated with PD. And yeah, we'll save that for the future because that's best left unsaid at this stage. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Bye-bye.